Good evening, baseball fans. It is Monday, June 17th. I had to look at it again, Kelsey. We just went over it. I had to look at it again because my brain is not here. Anyhow, I am Suzy. That is Kelsey. This is Bourbon and Baseball, all the balls edition. And we're going to start you off with the rated R warning. So if this is your first time here, you should know that this is a rated R podcast for all of the four-letter words, probably some inappropriate adult humor, but mostly for all the four-letter words, because there will be cussing. So if that's not your jam, that is okay. Just skedaddle on out of here. Put some earmuffs on the children, or let them listen to it. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you either way. But they probably will learn some newer words, maybe put together. Who knows? I actually have to yell at mine to go into the other room because I'm pretty sure they can hear me as well. And we're going to wait until they're like 10 to really start the cussing. So with that said, Kels, how's the move going?
Oh man, yeah, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, my setup is not fully set up, but I'm here. We're working. We have light, we have a mic. Producer June is laying at my feet. I'm upstairs at the new house instead of downstairs at the old house. So I'm feeling very much like I'm living in disarray right now because we moved across the country. We got here a week ago, which it feels like we have been here for about 5 hours instead of a week. But yeah, it's a lot. It is one step at a time sort of a thing. And I'm not very good at that. So it's a learning experience for me. But the Phillies are back in town for the first time today since we've been here. And we live about 10 miles from Citizens Bank Park. And I'm pretty sure the game's probably over by now. They just like absolutely destroyed the Padres. Yeah, 9-2 is the final of the Phillies Padres game. Their first game back in Philadelphia since we moved here. Trey Turner,
Can you hear the noise from your house, from the stadium?
10 miles with how packed that stadium is. You never know. I'll have
I
to.
don't know. I was told that during the World Series that houses very far away could hear all the noise, and I'm all, "Really? Oh."
Yeah, I could hear from Wrigley when I used to live like a half a mile away from Wrigley. You could hear the crowd from
So
Wrigley.
10 miles maybe would be okay.
10 miles is a little bit of a stretch. Just there's a lot of a highway in between, probably other ambient noise. But the point
Sure.
is, Phillies Kelsey is here and the Phillies are back in town. Every other house in my neighborhood has a Phillies flag outside. So the pride is real and strong. And I'm excited to be around that, especially when my freaking Cardinals apparently can't even beat the Miami Marlins. We've got a lot to talk about. You got a lot to catch me up on because I've been a
Yeah.
little out of the loop since I've been trying to paint my whole house and all that kind of shit. But the Astros, they did a thing. They did a big thing, which is bittersweet. How are you feeling about the release of Jose Abreu?
I think bittersweet is the correct word for that, Kels. Obviously, he was a great clubhouse guy, a veteran, couldn't have worked any harder, literally, and it sucked that it had to end this way. I'll just be really honest, if we were winning, Jose Abreu would still be on this team.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get that out of the way. If we were playing how we should be playing, Jose Abreu would still be here, and we could cover all of that nonsense up since Bregman doesn't wanna play and the league has figured out Yiner. It's a whole thing. Hopefully it's not too late. I will give huge, mad, big props to the Astros organization, specifically to Jim Crane and Jeff Bagwell, because at no point in time did I think that their tiny, fragile egos would be able to withstand this, essentially being wrong. Because let me back up here. Before we hired Dana Brown, who is our general manager, there was like a 3-week period when after the 22 World Series, Jim Crane gave James Click a 1-year contract and said, "Here, would you like another year with us?" And James Click said, "No, thank you. I just won you a World Series. I will go take my talents elsewhere." At the time, we were all like aglow with World Seriesness, so we didn't really look into it very far. And there was like a 3-week period there where we didn't have a general manager. And Jim Crane said, "You know what would be a great idea if I took those 3 weeks and made all the moves that I wanted to do."
Did a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
Let it
I
fall into
had a
the
when I
way.
had a general manager that was like, "That's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that." Jim Crane said, "You know what? I got a general manager no more. I'm the manager now. Let's do this." And he signed Rafael Montero Jr. to a 3-year contract, who's our reliever, admittedly, in that 22 World Series and then that 22 season. He was very good. He was very good, but we all know relievers are very volatile. What are we doing here? Okay. And then we signed Jose Abreu, who that last year on the White Sox, the numbers were declining. They weren't as great. We didn't expect the fall off to be this vast, so quickly. There we go. And Yeah, and we're like, "Oh, okay," and I specifically was like, "I don't know if I'm very comfortable with giving a 3-year contract to a 35-year-old first baseman," and then people were like, "Suzy, you don't know ball because Jose Abreu, look at the back of the baseball card," and okay, sure, whatever, because Yuli Gurriel, who had just left, playoff Yuli with rest, was actually a decent first baseman. We thought we were gonna get some version of that, and that did not happen. So, hopefully John Singleton, who is his replacement, quote unquote, can be suitable. And I think at this point in time, all we need is just not a black hole there. Imagine that. That'd be great. So, like I said, hopefully it's not too late, but with 43,007 pitchers of ours going down, I don't it may actually be too late. So who knows?
What is the Astros' current record right now?
After tonight and the beating that the Mets are putting on the Rangers, we will be second in the AL West with the record of
Yeah,
33 and 39.
I didn't realize the Rangers were playing so lousy too.
Yeah, and obviously the Rangers couldn't do anything against the Mariners, hence why we're so far back. Yeah, I was like, really? You can do not anything? Cool, love that. All right. So yeah, yeah.
Did it make you feel any better that at least Boston took the series from the Yankees? It was like we're coming off of a really hot rivalry weekends, but the Red
Oh
Sox and the
yeah,
Yankees played, and Boston took 2 out of 3 at home versus the Yankees.
yes, in Fenway, and it was magical. And like I said, if you've listened to this podcast before, my absolute love and adoration for Juan Soto, and those two words are said with mucho sarcasm. And literally every time he came up to bat, I am shocked he is not shelled every single time he comes up to bat. Like every single time. I don't understand. I don't understand it. But the fact that last night's game, they said, you know what? Jose Trevino, you suck as a catcher. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna take all the bags. They stole 9 bags. 9.
I didn't realize it was that many. My husband had the game on. Actually, I was painting downstairs, he was painting upstairs, and he had the game on up here, and he told me it was a good one, but yeah, I didn't realize there was that many.
9. And it set a
Real disrespect.
Red Sox franchise record for most steals in a game. And I'm sorry, what now? So, yeah, 9. I was all, wow, okay. And because I'm a petty bitch, I was giggly just a little bit because it was the Red Sox versus the Yankees. And we all had the Boston Red Sox obviously being this good at the beginning of the season, for sure. But we all had the Yankees being quote unquote this good. And the fact that the Yankees are just free falling. They're not actually free falling. They really first team to 50 wins, whatever. But the fact that Boston said, "Nah, we good," and took 2, I love it. Love it so much. Makes me
Especially
happy.
after Verdugo hit that home run in the that was in the first game, right?
First game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I read something on Twitter about how that home run received louder cheers there than any home run that he hit, like, as a Red Sox, and that's weird. He wasn't a very popular player on the Red Sox, and we talked about this preseason, like, when he got traded, it is a very weird fit, but somehow the
It
Yankees.
does fit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I'd hate this because there are Yankee teams and certain things about the Yankees that I can really respect and get behind, but they do have this now of what has very much become a history of signing these guys who are just not the best guys. Like they're not good role models. And I know there's plenty of fans who will say, I don't care about that. Just give me somebody who can play
Right.
baseball. But I am someone who that's the kind of thing I care about as a fan. And
Right.
they do end up signing a lot of guys and really try to leverage guys who are not easy to cheer for if character is your thing. So I'm not it just makes me feel icky about the Yankees particularly. And yeah, good for them. First team to 50
Yeah.
wins. Whatever.
But
I'm thinking right now as I'm looking at the standings that I feel like there's more disparity than normal. And I don't know if that's because of the balanced schedule. I don't know if that is of the disparity in payroll is just even more and more every year. Any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think the baseball gods said, "You know what would be super fun If we just took what everyone said in the preseason and just turned it on its head and just said, "Fuck all y'all, you don't know ball," and just shook everything up because
How
really and truly, that's what happened, right? Because we all saw the Guardians doing this preseason, right? We
we're
saw the
basically
Royals doing this.
I just we did.
We did. Yeah. We're gonna give ourselves the credit. Pat Murphy and his orange lifesavers are just cooking with the Brewers. I don't know. Quite honestly, let's just put it out there. There are a lot of teams that I thought would do a crossover with Snoop Dogg, and in no world were the Brewers on that
Yeah,
list.
I think the
Definitely not first on the list.
absolutely. The Brewers were like 25th at best of 30 teams. I completely agree. Do you know what the connection there? Like, why was he there?
Yes, I found it out and I was shocked. If you guys don't know, you guys have to go find the 2.5 minute clip of the best Snoop Dogg moments. But apparently, he was performing at the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino
Oh,
there
mhm.
in Milwaukee, and I'm all, hold on, why the fuck did I not know that Snoop Dogg is still performing
Yeah.
shows, especially a place that's called Potawatomi? What? I was shocked. Because again, in no world where Snoop Dogg rapping about gin and juice would have the trajectory career that he had doing crossovers with Martha Stewart and a kids show. Do you know about the kids show?
Um,
Doggyland?
what was he on?
Doggyland?
No.
He made his own kids show.
I've just seen him on the Pets what is it, the PetSmart commercial?
No, nope. It's a whole show, and there's plushy characters, it's a cartoon, and they do all these songs for little kids, and I'm all, whoever Snoop Dogg's business manager is a motherfucking genius because, again, at no point in time did we ever imagine Snoop Dogg doing Doggyland. It's characters and they have a cleanup song, like a washing your hands after going to the potty song. They redid the ABCs, and I'm all, why did I not know about this show when my children were younger? Because I would have been putting on Doggyland as opposed to Cocomelon, and turns out that's why he created this show, was because his grandkids wanted to watch Cocomelon with him, and he's like, "Cocomelon is fucking annoying. What the fuck is this?"
So we
And
got
so
Barney, but kids these days have Doggyland.
they have Doggy, and he voices, like, the main guy in Doggyland,
Snoop.
but I need Snoop Dogg in the All-Star Game
Oh,
booth
the all-star softball game,
doing
that would be amazing.
I need him to be calling plays because he's not a baseball guy. He doesn't have a favorite team. He's got a favorite football team, I think, and a favorite basketball team, but not a favorite baseball team. And apparently he lives in Long Beach. So they're like, "So is it the Dodgers that are your favorite team?" He goes, "I don't really have a favorite baseball team. I'm a smart man. I'm gonna make some enemies. I don't have a favorite baseball team. I keep up with the names and stuff." But it cracked me up because his play-by-play calling with Ellie De La Cruz and like Christian Yelich, and apparently him and Christian Yelich are friends because Snoop performed at a birthday party that Christian Yelich attended his senior year in high school.
Yeah, me too. What?
Yeah. And I was like, "These are the nuggets of things that I needed to know. What?" And then Snoop goes, "I don't know what he's talking about. We're the same age, me and Yelly. That's not possible." But it cracked me up. So,
Yeah, my
if
favorite
ever you guys want a laugh, Snoop Dogg in the Milwaukee Brewers play-by-play booth is just chef's kiss.
my favorite picture from the weekend in baseball on Twitter was the picture of Snoop Dogg and Pat Murphy in the Brewers dugout. And you know what? Baseball needs that level of celebrity and those the kinds of variety of celebrity at
Mhm.
games. That was just it was huge for the game, and I wish we would see more of that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
thank
He did a FaceTime with Bob Uecker. There's a picture of him FaceTiming Bob Uecker, and I'm all,
you.
I wanna be a fly on that wall. What was said in this conversation? I loved it. I loved it so much. Yeah, you missed a lot this weekend, Kels, you missed a lot. But also, you missed since I know you didn't watch the game last night with the Yankees and the Red Sox, you missed Tristan Casas just cooking on the
Yeah,
microphone.
is he back?
He is in the dugout. He's always in the dugout, and he is possibly going to start taking swings shortly because he
Okay.
was on the IL for the rib oblique thing. But yeah, he was in the dugout And on Sunday Night Baseball, you know how they ask the questions? I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think they even asked him a question. He just got the microphone and just started talking and just was talking about Father's Day, and then he just drops this story about how he's 6 years old and he's playing in this game, but he doesn't really wanna be playing in the game, and his dad literally, like Looney Tunes, drug him onto the field and made him play, and one of his friend's moms called the police, and the police arrested him. He's going on, and he's telling the story on the broadcast, and he says, "That's one of my first memories of my dad, but you know what? I appreciate that because it was basically I learned a valuable lesson from that." I'm like, What is happening here?" And basically, he was saying that he learned how that even if he's not feeling his best, he's letting down his team because he's not playing at 100%. As a 6-year-old, you learned this lesson from watching your dad get dragged off in cuffs and put into the back of the cop car? That's what you're telling me right now, Tristan Casas?
There's a lot about Tristan Casas. I'm not sure I saw it coming, but
It was awesome. And then apparently Kenley was in the clubhouse watching all of this, and he sent Brian Bayo out to tell Tristan Casas to shut the fuck up and give up the microphone, and he was talking too much. Literally in the middle of the thing, Brian Bayo just comes in and they start speaking Spanish, and I don't know why I wasn't aware maybe that Tristan Casas spoke Spanish, understood Spanish. I don't know why. I should have figured. But then Tristan Casas is speaking Spanish back at Brian Bayo, and then Eduardo was like, "Let me translate for you," when Tristan was about to, and it was beautiful.
wow,
But I'm like, "All right, Tristan Casas, you're a weirdo, and I think I like you even more now."
he is a weirdo, that's for sure.
No.
He's intriguing, to say
But
the
yeah.
least.
Also, things that are intriguing, Kels. The Mets are cooking. And the reason the Mets are cooking is apparently because Grimace threw out the first pitch of a game, like 6 games ago.
How did that
I
happen? That's
I
another
don't know.
we just didn't see coming.
I don't know. But apparently Grimace is the reason. I think maybe more of a reason is Francisco Alvarez getting off of the IL, their catcher.
Yeah.
And when I heard it, I was like, "Grimace like McDonald's
Yeah,
Grimace? Like Hamburglar Grimace?"
I
No,
didn't even
yeah.
know he's
Well,
still around. Still doing
yeah, I was
appearances.
all, "What? But why?" Nobody can tell me. Nobody can tell me why Grimace throughout the first pitch, why Grimace was there, if it was like some sort of crossover, I don't know, like production. I don't know. So I gotta ask my Mets fans, Grimace? Is Hamburglar next? What's gonna go on? I don't know. But
Steve
they're
Cohen's
cooking now.
got a McDonald's in. Steve Cohen, met the media in London. Well, the London series has happened since we last spoke, and they split the series, which was it was great for the fans. It was great for baseball. But Steve Cohen said that London has better food than New York City. And
Ooh,
I'm
them's
sorry, like
fighting words.
I went to London this time last year. I had amazing food. It was great, but New York City has like the best food. Like London is not like known for having like great food specifically
Yeah.
either. So
Maybe Indian food. I heard there's lots of Indian food in
Indian
London.
food is good, but it's still just as good, if not better, in New York. Like the authentic of anything you could really want is in New York City. And Steve Cohen knows that. I feel like it made me like respect him a little bit less because I felt like he was just trying to suck up or something and not thinking about what he was saying. I don't know, Steve. It's nice to meet the media. It's great to shake hands with some fans, and I'm glad to see. Last year, I like really hated the Mets because they just spent all of the money and everyone was so hype about them. And I knew before the season even started, I was like, this is not going to play out well. And I was really satisfied when it didn't. Now I feel a little bit more okay. Can you blame them? I guess if you have the means to do that, why not try it? And if it doesn't work, then you're just set back even further, but it's your own money. So I guess, or it's your business. You got to figure it out. But I just feel very differently about them this year. Like I because they have had to be a little bit strategic, I would like to see them have at least more success than they had last season. But I don't know. I think they're on track to probably end pretty similarly. Do you think at the end of the season the Mets have a better record than last season?
I don't know. I don't know. At this point in time, like, I legitimately do not know anything about baseball because who I thought was gonna be good, bad. Who I thought was gonna be bad, good. So, I don't know. I do not know ball because currently, the New York Mets, the 33 and 37 New York Mets, uh, are beating the brakes off of the current World Series champion, Texas Rangers, 11-2 in the 5th.
Damn.
Exactly. I don't know at this point. They're doing I don't know what they're doing, how they're doing it, because they still don't have Kodai Senga. Apparently, their bats have gotten hot. I Who knows? Not me. Not me. Yeah, fly out single walk, double, single, grounded into a double play, and that gets you 11 runs, apparently.
Rangers are having a time. Yeah, 75 wins last season. We'll see. I had predicted at the beginning of the season that I thought the Mets would have a better record than they did last season, and I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, especially since Grimace threw out the first pitch.
I told my Mets friends that I needed them to sweep the Rangers, but then I need them to suck again next weekend when we play them. We'll see what actually happens. Talk about things that are sucking. The Dodgers City Connects came out, and I thought that leak that we got a couple of weeks ago where it looked like funfetti just spilled all over a uniform, I thought it was fake. I thought it was
Yeah,
fake. It's not fake. It's not fake.
I'm looking at it again right now because I'm still having a hard time believing that this is it. But yeah, no, it looks like a Pop Tart at best.
I don't understand it. Why? Why?
They also this is like a special City Connect too, right? Because they already had one recently, so they get to have a second one.
But
What?
why?
It literally just I don't even know.
It's not cute at all. It literally just looks like someone threw fucking rainbow sprinkles on 'em. It doesn't I don't know. And then apparently there was some storyline to go with it, and it's supposed to be stars or something, and I'm all,
Constant
"Listen,
star
people.
power and flash.
Yeah, no. If I have to be literally, like, right here on top of you to see that they're stars and not just, like, a sprinkle pattern, you've done it too subtly."
Yeah, it focuses on the galaxy of stars, which is rendered in the color palette of Dodger Stadium, hoping to represent the diversity in Los Angeles. Apparently, there's also a hashtag on them, ITFDB. We've seen that hashtag all over baseball Twitter, right? You all know what it is. ITFDB, it's time for Dodger baseball. You can't just try to make fetch happen, Dodgers. That's not how this
It's not
works.
gonna happen. Oh my god. That's so bad. There's a hashtag on it too?
Yeah, it's like in the bottom corner of it.
Oh, no. It's even worse now. It's even worser.
Yeah, there's
No, thank you.
fabric, the colors. The Dodgers are known for their Dodger blue, but the City Connect uniforms go with a different colorway, cobalt and electric blue, as if that's different, with a hint of chili red, which serves as a nod to the red numbers on the Dodgers' primary uniforms. What? Like, no, we're grasping for straws here. Absolutely not.
I need to know what designer got paid buku bucks for this shit
Right.
because I've seen some random people on Twitter come up with better shit than this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Way better. Just absolutely not. Just no. At this point, it would have even been better had you had fan submitted art for it and done like a
I know.
voting.
Really cool. That would be really cool if they all the teams should do that, honestly.
But good god. Literally everyone almost everyone has failed for their City Connects except for Tampa. And, hell, I'll throw Houston in there too because I'm not thrilled with Houston's. It's better than whatever the fuck the Dodgers are though, but
Yeah, oh, for sure.
and then did we talk about the Twins? I can't remember if we talked about the Twins.
I'm just seeing the Twins one for the first time. What do you think about the Twins?
I don't hate it. I don't love it though, but I don't
Like,
hate it. At least that makes a little bit more sense
yeah.
than the Dodgers stuff. Land of a Thousand Lakes, a
Yeah, and
thousand,
the pattern
ten
is
thousand lakes.
cool and unique. There's not
Yeah,
other jerseys for any team that have that kind of a pattern
yeah.
on them. I like the
And
end.
then their throwback hat, like
Yeah.
logo thing on that. I like that. I give it a C. It's fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't enjoy any of these City Connects except for Tampa.
Yeah, I agree, that's the only one. The Cincinnati ones, like the Reds ones are okay. I like the Padres ones, but they only on certain
Yeah,
people as
yeah,
players.
yeah. I personally would never like purchase
I could not
a
pull it off.
Padre City Connect, but I like the look of them. I like the boldness of them, especially since their normal colors are gold and brown. I'm all right, but no, like the Angels City Connects, like the vintage whatever.
Mm,
No, it's okay again, but
they're
I'll see a lot of
also
these
not different
are
enough.
just a lot of these are just meh. And it's so disappointing when you had such an opportunity to do great
Yeah,
things with it, and it's just
yeah.
I don't
And
know.
it does seem like
It's
something really special and that could be very creative, and they either have gone too far in trying to be creative or it's, like, too subtle to where you're like okay, you can say it's representative of this and that, and the stars
Right.
in Los Angeles sky, the diversity, whatever. No, I don't. That does not read. Doesn't translate.
It doesn't translate at all. Did you focus test this before you brought it out? Surely groups of people
There
that you
should be
tested.
fan focus groups that help with
Yeah.
these city connects. Come on. Ugh, we have it all figured out.
If they didn't do a focus test group, what the fuck are you doing? You failed. You failed on all fronts if that's what happened. If nobody told you that you should rethink these ideas, it's not good. Another thing that I don't know if it's good or not, I haven't really heard anything from this particular team. And so maybe I guess it's all settled. Did you see the fisticuffs that happened in the Nats dugout?
I did see it. I was wondering if, yeah, if you knew what it was about because I did not. I did
Yeah.
not catch wind of what it was about.
So apparently Nick Senzel, who is their third baseman, and Mackenzie Gore, who was the starting pitcher that day, apparently Nick Senzel was going back on kind of a, they say like a routine-ish ground out like ball on the foul line. Let me back up. I just saw the fight afterwards, right?
Mhm.
And I'm all, what the fuck? And I asked Mike, I go, what would it take for 2 players to fight in the dugout and not take it downstairs? What? And he
Yeah,
goes, one of them fucking the other's wife. And I'm all, that's not an answer that I had expected. Like, what? He's like, "I'm just saying." And I'm all, I don't think that's it. So then I had to go and do the investigation on the Twitters and found the actual play and found the actual play with the Nats announcers. And even one of the announcers was like, "Why didn't he throw it harder? He's just lobbing it over there." And so
yeah,
it's all, "Oh, okay. I guess that would be it, alright." But just watching the play, though, without the announcers, it kinda looked like maybe he didn't throw it full on, but it wasn't anything egregious. And so I'm all, "Oh, alright, whatever." But then you see it in the dugout, I'm all, "Oh, shit. Okay." And then apparently Lane Thomas is Nick Senzel's best friend on the team, or I guess they're just, like, best friends, and they just happen to be on the same team. But, like, he had to get in between them, like, they had to break it up. But literally, there's not been any words about this afterwards.
I'm just reading an article here from Fox Sports that says a quote from Sinzel said it was no one else's business. He said, "It's just the situation. We worked it out internally. What stays in here, and that's really all there is to it. We're competitors. We handled it." And then Mackenzie Gore said, "That's something I can't do. That's on me. It's in here. We figured it out." So yeah,
Yeah.
they
So
weren't going to talk about it. They probably got us what
yeah,
we're listen. If you're going to do
yeah.
that, you got to go downstairs.
Take it downstairs. So I was listening to, I think it was Talking Baseball. I think it was Trevor Plouffe, and Trevor Plouffe was like, "Let me tell you, if a pitcher came at me like that, we'd have problems, major problems." He's at no point is a guy that's only gonna be out there every 5 days gonna come at me, and I was like, "Oh, alright, what?" And he goes, "And this happens way more often than you have seen." And I'm all, "What?" I was shocked. And he goes, You may not have seen it. It may not have been up here. We may have taken it downstairs. But yeah, no, this happens way more often than you think." And I'm all, I don't want to think about that. No, thank you. I
Yeah,
would
I
like to
hate
think that
that.
my favorite team is all
Yeah,
together and kumbaya. None of
yeah.
that. No, thank you.
That. Oh my, Susie. It was the bottom of the 11th. The Cardinals had one more out to get, but no, it is now tied at 5 again.
Stop
Oh
it.
God. Wow. Anyway,
Who's pitching now?
Andrew Kittredge
Oh no.
doing these days, I don't know, but all right, let's keep talking about other tragic
I
things. Keep
okay.
my mind off of the Cardinals are allergic to 500 baseball. Above 500 baseball, like, one game
That's
below
fair.
again. Okay, I saw something very briefly about the umpire gambling scandal. Give me the deets.
So apparently Pat Hoberg, who is infamously known for calling the perfect game, essentially, not an actual perfect game, but literally he got a 100 on the umpire scorecard
Ah, yes.
in the World Series. Apparently there was an investigation that started in spring training, and you got to be a special kind of stupid if you're gambling with all of the MGM sportsbook and the DraftKings and the major sports venues, because apparently they have a list of baseball players and people associated with MLB that are not allowed to gamble. And so if your name pops up on this list, they report it back to MLB.
That makes sense.
So
But
apparently that's what happened, but Pat is appealing this, and they can't comment any further. But the fact that it started in spring training and now it's here, and I have so many more questions though, because why now are we getting all of these gambling guys and cases and things like that? Like, you mean to tell me the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, no one has gambled on baseball?
right.
It's just now that they have, and you're
Yeah.
just now catching wind of it. What? Is it a smokescreen for Shohei? Did the Shohei investigation set all of this into motion? They're like, "Oh shit, we have a baseball player. Now we gotta look into all the baseball players." Is that why how we're finding it? I have so many more questions on this because apparently we didn't talk about it, but apparently there are 4 baseball players.
Oh, yeah.
Peta, whatever last name. The Pirates organization is banned for life from baseball for betting on the Pirates while he was on the Pirates, and then 3 other minor league-ish
Mhm.
players are banned for a year because they bet on baseball but not on their own team.
Yeah, and they were much smaller bets, I think,
Yeah,
too.
and I'm all, I don't understand what's happening here. I feel like maybe the Shohei investigation just can of worms all of it, and they're like, "Oh shit, now we just gotta go look at everybody." But they can bet on others. That's what I can't understand is you can bet on other sports, but you can't bet on baseball. Do I got
Right.
that right? Apparently that's it. And so I'm
Seems pretty
all right.
straightforward, but
Yeah. But even see, I feel like if you're a professional athlete, you shouldn't be able to bet on any kind of sport though, because you have, I wouldn't say influence. You could probably have connections into said world, into the football world, into the basketball world, or whatever, and get insider information. That's neither here nor there, and that's a whole other
yeah,
topic
I
there.
just think even for the sake of regulating it, just better regulating it.
Yeah,
Why even let them dabble? If you're an active player, you can't bet on sports.
yeah.
I have a question for you. If
Mhm.
you could ran onto to a baseball field in the middle of a game and you had your moment, what would you do? What is the one? Would you make a peace sign? Would you do the Taylor Swift heart? Would you show off your dance moves? Would you mouth something to try to send a message out? If you had that one moment before you probably, I don't know, get tased, what would you do?
Definitely would not be a backflip. One, because I can't do a backflip, and two, I would probably break my neck. It would depend on which outfielder is actually out there, though. If it's Kevin Kiermaier, I may get thrown in jail for assault because I love Kevin Kiermaier. But I don't know. I don't think I would be stupid enough to do that.
Yes,
However, I
imagine.
feel like I don't know. Like I saw the guy get tased in the Guardians game, and I'm all, that's a bit much. He wasn't
Right.
by
Did
any
did
players.
that need to happen? I didn't
Yeah,
see, like, how long he was on the field for or anything. I just saw I actually think I just saw the still of him
yeah.
being tased.
So he ends up doing the backflip. Now, and he ended up doing the backflip right in front of the cop. It almost looked like the cop was, like, spotting him doing the backflip, and I'm all, "Oh, it's not a bit. Oh, okay." And then he gets tased, and I'm all, "Alright, what's happened here?" And so, I don't know if the cop just didn't think he could catch him and tackle him or what, and I get it. I understand that there's safety concerns and all that fun stuff, but a couple seasons ago, a guy ran out onto the Astros outfield, but he literally ran up and gave Jose Altuve a hug.
Oh,
Like, he
yes.
got that he
That.
got that close that he was able to give Jose Altuve a hug.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, it was just a hug,
Yeah.
but the fact that he got that close to
Mhm.
a player,
Yeah, that's
that would set off some warning bells. But then again, a few years back, you had, what was her name? Morganna, the kissing bandit or something?
oh, I
You
missed that.
Oh, Kelsey, how do I know about Morgana and you don't? What?
I
Oh
don't
my
know.
goodness.
This was last
Yes.
season.
No, this wasn't last season. This was, I'm talking probably in the late '80s, early '90s, maybe?
God. Yeah, I don't
Yes.
know.
Google Morgana the Kissing Bandit,
Okay.
and you will come across a beautiful, gorgeous blonde with some huge brains, some
Mhm.
tiggle
Mhm.
bitties, and her running, it's like Baywatch, slow
Ah,
mo.
yes, I see.
But apparently, this was a thing. This was a thing for a lot of games. She would go and run on the field, and that was allowed. Yeah.
No, it's not. Yeah, no, she's literally just she walks right up
Mhm.
and kisses Cal Ripken Jr. as he steps up to the plate, and there she
Yeah.
goes back, and the cops are walking her off, but in a very nice way.
Yeah, there's multiple of these. I wanna say she did it to Nolan Ryan too, when he was pitching, I
Yes,
think.
she
Yeah.
did. You are
Mhm.
correct.
So,
This is
like
wild. How did
yeah,
I never
it's not so but the fact that we've gone from Morganna the kissing bandit to getting tased on the field after doing a backflip, that's a big
Oh
that's a
my
far stretch
gosh.
here. Yeah. I don't know. I feel maybe someplace in the middle.
Yeah.
Because again, I get it. I understand that it's a player safety issue. I don't think I would
Morgana retired from, I don't know, kissing players or whatever she did. She, according to Wikipedia, she now lives in Ohio.
maybe she should have been at the maybe she was at the Ohio Bowl. Is that what they called the
There's an article here from 2020 that says she is alive and well and living in Columbus, Ohio.
wow, yeah. And I guess she was, like, supposed to be good luck or something too. I don't know, but I'm all listen, the few times that I have seen people run on the field, they have been guys. And
Yeah.
so maybe if it's a female with Tiggo bitties, you don't get tased. You get escorted very nicely off the field. I don't know.
Oh, apparently she was asked for an interview and she wrote back and said that she doesn't do interviews anymore because she got tired of talking about herself. But she signed the email, "Your bosom buddy, Morgana." Still got her wits about her.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I don't know if we're talking some Tiggo bitties.
Oh,
They
yeah. This article that I'm reading says that Morgana used to call Dolly Parton flat. And she's quoted as saying, "People always ask me where I get my bras. And I always tell them the same people who make my bras make the domes for the stadium."
oh my gosh. That's hysterical. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What a
Mhm.
character. She is still married to her accountant husband, who she married when she was 22. She remains married to him to this day. So,
Wow.
couple
That's yeah,
support.
that is impressive. Yeah, when Mike told me about that, I'm all, "I'm sorry, what now?" He goes, "Look it up. Google it." I'm all, "Stop it right now." And sure enough, I Googled and I was all, "Oh, okay. I see now. I see why now. She
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah.
I see. I see it." Yeah.
Sting.
I'm telling you, but I'm all, again, though, this is why God didn't bless me with to-go biddies because I would be doing shenanigans like that. That's what I would be doing.
And you'd be getting
Taking over
tased.
the world.
Can't have that.
And that so yeah. But yeah, Kel, when the baseball is baseballing, because as one does, as one tries to figure out the season, we always had on our baseball bingo card at the beginning of the season that the Pirates would be the Dodgers' daddy, right?
100%.
For sure,
How we
for
wrote
sure.
it up. NL Cent coming in.
I
Series
was like,
from the
I'm
Dodgers.
sorry, what now? Yeah. Now this was a couple of weeks ago. I know we're late on the uptake, okay, but we didn't record last week, and I needed to talk to Kelsey about this because, of course, the two games that the Pirates were gonna take from the Dodgers would be the Jared Jones start winning that 1-0 and the Paul Skeens start winning that 10-6,
Yeah,
of
I
course.
never thought I would see the Dodgers, like, on even have a 1-0 game, and if they did, I certainly would have assumed, oh, if you were like, "Oh, yeah, the Dodgers played tonight, the score was 1-0," I'd be like, "And they won 1-0,
Yeah,
correct?"
and if I were to tell you that it was Jared Jones versus Tyler Glasnow of the Dodgers, you'd be like, "Oh, sure. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense that Tyler Glasnow would be the winning pitcher." No, Tyler Glasnow would be the losing pitcher, giving up a solo home run to Jack Suwinski to win the game. I was like, "What?"
Jack
That's
Sawinski. Hey, use your 40-man fine, wasn't he?
mhm. Yep, this is again, baseball is baseballing, people. Baseball is baseballing, and Jack has not had a great season, but he can hang a home run on Tyler Glasnow on his mantle because not a lot of people can say that. And I think Glasnow was dealing in that game too.
I
So
mean,
the fact
obviously,
that yeah, the fact that Jared Jones and then the Pirates bullpen took care of it because at no point in time are you expecting the Pirates bullpen to do anything.
you're
So
thinking, "Okay, Jared Jones, awesome, but we'll get to the bullpen."
and then Paul Skeens did his thing and he went 6 shutty. I think he actually on this game, I think maybe he went 7. But the fact that he went 6 or 7 and then the Pirates bullpen again came in and did the things. But even more so was the fact that the Pirates scored runs
Yes,
because
many
that's
runs.
really the main thing. Yeah. It's 10 to 6. 10 to 6, y'all. Pirates? That's you? Yeah. Rowdy Tellez is getting hot.
He
Yeah, you
is.
heard me, people. Rowdy
Let
Tellez is getting hot. Yeah. He heard all your boos and said, "You know what? Fuck y'all. Look what I can do." He's doing the things, guys. He's doing the things. But yeah, so the fact that Pirates take the series from the Dodgers, but then the Dodgers turn around and beat the Yankees. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
rather I was asking on baseball Twitter because the Dodgers and Yankees are obviously like two of the highest payrolls, two of the most stacked teams in baseball. If you're not a Dodgers and Yankees fan, like which one do you want to see lose more? Would you rather
I want
see
both teams to lose, and I want nobody to have fun.
yeah, I mean same.
That's essentially what I want to happen. No, I take that back. I want Shohei Ohtani to hit 43 home runs, and that's it. But then both of them lose. I
Yeah.
need Shohei Ohtani to hit 43 home runs for my fantasy team so I can get all the points, but then everybody lose. That's all I need. Actually, I had Luis Hill going. So that was like the worst thing when Luis Hill was against Shohei as well. I don't know what needs to happen here because if Shohei gets a hit, I get minus points. But then if Luis Hill strikes out Shohei, I get minus points. So basically, what needed to happen was Shohei needed to get an out. Not a strikeout, but like a ground out or line out, and then that was okay. Then it was even. Then it didn't hurt me. But yeah, I needed Luis Hill to shove and Shohei Ohtani then to hit 43 home runs. But I wanted neither one of these clubs to win, and I wasn't happy that I had to watch either one of these teams, and I'm all
Weirdly
but
enough,
then
I feel especially with my NL investment, I typically would always want the Dodgers to lose, but I think in these games specifically, and it probably just is because the makeup of the roster, kind of like we were talking about earlier with the Yankees this season, there are more players on the Dodgers that I like and have respect for. And I do just think that they are a more complete team. They should be able to beat the Yankees. And I think that's the other thing that maybe is irritating me about the Yankees this season is I get that they have Judge and Soto, but they don't seem like they should be winning as much as they are.
yeah, it's because their pitching has been so good that it is. And the fact that Luis Hill has shoved and Clark Schmidt has shoved. He's been hurt, but Carlos Rodon has been good. Nestor has been good. Stroman has been good, and now they've been doing all of that without Garrett Cole, and now Garrett Cole is coming back, and you're all, I'm sorry, what? But yeah, and Stanton has been lukewarm. I'm not gonna say that he's hot, but he's lukewarm. And Verdugo's gotten some timely hits. Anthony Volpe has been
Yeah.
good. Yankee fans, if you're listening to this, cover your ears. I'm not trying to say nice things about you, okay? This is just me being a rational baseball person and seeing what with my eyeballs, what's going on over there, okay? It's not admiration. Don't think about it like that. But it's sadly though, that Yankee game and the Yankee fans chant, "We want Soto," while Trent Grisham was up,
Yeah.
and then Trent Grisham went yard, and I was all Trent Grisham, I would not blame you at fucking all if you ran around the bases with just double birds, just flipping off the fans, like, "What up now, motherfuckers?" Just all of it, I could see it, and I would personally would love it, but the fact that they were chanting, "We want Soto," and then you go yard, that's like poetic justice right there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that was
Love it.
epic. And Aaron Judge spoke to that afterwards, and he didn't hardcore call out the fans, but he said something along the lines of, "I don't like to see that," and I'm glad he was able to come through there or whatever. And I don't know. I know as a player that you can't really ever call out the fans, but we liked it when Rowdy Tellez stepped in and did it for David Bednar. I
Mhm.
don't know. I think that is one of the things that I don't appreciate about certain fan bases. And is when they just want to shit all over their they were fucking booing Aaron Judge a month ago. Come on.
The hell they were booing Aaron Judge last season when he just hit 4,003 home runs and won the home run title. What are we doing, people? What are you kidding me now? Why? I understand that he's struck out on some big situations, but that's the guy. That's like the guy. Your captain. Are you holding him to a higher standard? What are we doing? Are
Even if you are, like, he is constantly playing at a higher standard. He's not gonna
Mhm.
be perfect. He's a human being. I don't know. It's a bad look to me. Like, we're talking about the Phillies to start. We're gonna talk a little bit about their struggles since they just needed to come home to me clearly this past week. But the Phillies fans infamously had that standing ovation for Trey Turner after he was really struggling for the first half of the season when he first signed with the Phillies. And the Phillies fans are really tough on like they talk about having high expectations, but even they seem to know when that's just not productive and
yeah.
it's not going to bring the vibes that's going to bring anything up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I would never boo a I would be hard pressed to boo a player from an opposing team, let alone my own team.
Yeah. There was one time at the Rangers game last season when we booed Adolis Garcia. Now, in Minute Maid, you will very rarely hear boos for the other team. A smattering here and there.
Yeah.
When I tell you this was the loudest, it sounded like Yankee Stadium booing Jose Altuve when
Wow.
Adolis Garcia came up. It was so loud. I I was a little shocked, not gonna lie, because we typically down here in the South, we're typically a little bit nicer to opposing players, to opposing fans. We're a little bit nicer. I was shocked, and it worked the first 2 times, not the 3rd time. But yeah, it was I don't know, I get it, I get it. It's a whole sports thing, and if you're an athlete, you should expect it or whatever. I just personally, I don't love doing it. I will do it. I did it to Adolis Garcia. I will probably do it to Juan Soto, but probably there I would be hard pressed to name any, like, literally any others. Like, I'm trying to think of I
There
probably
was
wouldn't even boo, like, Aaron Judge.
Yeah, there were a number of Cardinals fans that were throwing shade at Jazz Chisholm on opening day actually this past season because it was right after he had come out and talked all the smack about Miggy Rowe, and I
Oh,
think
uh-huh.
it's that kind of a thing, honestly, I would be more, like, understanding. Again, it's because 'cause I'm a character kind of person, like, and they were, like there were fans in the section next to me that were, like, yelling things at him about how he was, like, throwing his teammates under the bus and stuff, so yeah, I don't know, for poor performance, sure, that's gonna help, and
Yeah,
just I don't know, I have maybe it is because I am a performer or and you as a photographer, as an artist, like, you have a different level of appreciation for, like, performance-based work. I
yeah,
don't know what it is, but I just, like, I have a hard time shade in any
yeah.
direction, especially
I
for team. Come on.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. It took a long time for me to separate my self-worth from my
Yeah,
photography.
yeah.
It took a long time. And I could see where I would project that onto players because 'cause I'd be like, "No, that's like bad it's a bad day. We're allowed bad days." And so it would suck if someone came into my studio every day, all day, be like, "Oh my god, you suck!" while I'm trying to edit. That's what I do, like, when I imagine that.
Yeah,
So,
and
yes.
but if you're a baseball fan, you also should know that the nature of the game is, like, the second that you think you have it figured out, something else falls out from underneath you, and there's another
Yep,
challenge that comes up. It's never something that anyone is they've just got it and they're on a roll. Like, even the best player goes on an 0 for 20 cold spell, like, every fucking season. It's just part of what happens. So that yeah, it's a game of failure. It is what it
yep.
is.
Yeah, I will never actively boo a player for especially for poor performance. I know, like I said, Jose Abreu, at no point in time would you have gone to Minute Maid Park and heard boos when Jose Abreu was up to bat. We'll tweet out our frustrations, but it's
Yes.
never for me personally, it's never directly at Jose Abreu. "Oh my god, Jose, what are we doing?" It's
Yeah.
not, "You suck, blah, blah, blah." It's
Yeah,
just
more like,
frustration.
"Hey, the team, stop putting
Yeah,
him in this position." Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
and that's
so
I think there's a way I'm not saying you have to be like, "Oh, but it's Jose Abreu, give him another shot." No,
yeah,
absolutely not. There's a way to be critical without being mean, just
yeah,
because and so
yeah. No, and obviously on this podcast specifically, we're not trying to be that. We're trying to hold our players accountable,
yeah,
but at no point in time are we trying to just be bitches about it just to be a bitch. That's not us. But we talked about Philly, Kels. We talked about Philly and the easy schedule that they had, and that's why they were beating everybody, but really not. The Phillies didn't make their schedule. It's so they just got to play their schedule. But
yeah,
now that they're playing some better teams, they seem to be losing a little bit more. They lost to Boston and they lost to Baltimore. And that Burns Wheeler game, I was excited for it because I was like, "Oh, like Burns
yeah.
and Wheeler," and it was gonna be a pitching duel, and it ended up not being a pitching duel. It ended up being not not anything like that.
Yeah, Wheeler gave up a career high 4 home runs in that game, and he was only in for 4 and a third. Yikes. But is this correct that his ERA is still only 2.84 even after that game? Because then I guess you can afford to have a game like that every now and then.
Yes, his ERA is still 2.84, even after that horrible game. Isn't that
So there
crazy? I had to read it 4 times to make sure that I was actually typing the correct things and not transcribing numbers or do I'm all, "What was it before? What is happening?" No, Zach Wheeler is just that good.
yeah, I
Apparently,
thought that was gonna be one of the hot pitchers duels for the weekend, but not so much. It was a little bit of a home run derby for the Orioles.
and 40 Man Fine, Colton Cowser. I love Colton Cowser. I love Colton Cowser, and I love the pasture. Have you heard about the pasture?
I know there's people who are dressing up like cows, yes?
Yes, but they're sitting in one particular section, all sitting in one particular section, and they call it the pasture,
Amazing.
and
That's
that
those these are the kind of vibes that World Series winning teams have on their side.
yeah. And unfortunately, though, they're also getting bit by the injury bug because now Kyle Bradish has gone back on the IL with a sprained UCL.
Yeah.
We don't love that. Do not love
Not
that.
great. Not great.
Uh-uh. Dean Kramer apparently is supposed to come off of the IL here within the next week. Dean Kramer is a decent pitcher on his in his own right. However, he's no Kyle Bradish, and so you're like, all right, what are you going to do, Orioles? I think they're what 2.5 games back of the Yankees. I don't
Mm,
remember. 1.5 games back of the Yankees, and do they start their series against each other tomorrow? Is that series? They sure do.
alright.
They sure do. So it'll be the Orioles versus the Yankees for one. Is it a 3-game set or is it a 4-game set? Let's see. It's a 3-game set. So after this, we will see who, quote unquote, is the better team. Could
Yeah,
the Orioles overcome the Yankees?
I
I
want
don't
to
know.
think so, but I don't
Let's
know.
see. It's Albert Suarez versus Nestor Cortez, Cade Povich versus Garrett Cole. Hey, Cade Povich, it's only your second game. How would you like to go up against, I don't know, the reigning AL Cy Young winner who's debuting for the season?
No pressure.
Cade Povich, I hope that you do well. Ay, ay, ay. And then Cole Irvin versus Luis Hill. We shall see, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens between those two clubs. If you've watched this podcast at all, you should know who we are rooting for between those two teams. But yeah, so Kyle Bradish goes on the IL. There's just all kinds of freaking IL injury updates, Kels, because the Dodgers, as much as we talk shit about the Dodgers, there's 2 of them now. 2 of them, big ones for the
Yeah,
Dodgers.
you guys that baseball is just better when they're playing. Yamamoto's on that massive contract. He's just starting to have some of his best outings, and he is going on the IL?
Yes. Yeah, and he will be gone for an undefined amount of time. I was like, "Oh, okay." They're hoping that he'll be back this season, but apparently he's just not gonna throw for a while, but it's not season ending. But they didn't give a timetable for him. And then Mookie Betts takes a 98-mile-an-hour fastball off of his left hand, and he will be gone for, they said, 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks, yeah. That's so sad
So,
for him just as
yeah.
a player too because he's having an MVP season
Yep.
and
Well,
can't
and it'll
ask for
be interesting to see if they move Shohei to the leadoff spot and they just move so Shohei and then Freddie and then Will Smith, and apparently Max Muncy's supposed to come back off the IL, so they'll insert Max Muncy back in there. But really, the lineup is top heavy for the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
There's no mincing words about it, right? But Miggy Rowe is probably going to slot in at shortstop, and Gavin Lux will slot in at second base. And then I guess Miguel Vargas got called back up. And then Bobby Miller is coming out the IL on the pitching side. It's not like the Dodgers are going to be in trouble, but it does suck for
Sure.
them.
Yeah, they had they acquired Kevin Biggio this week as
Oh,
well.
yes. Yeah,
The
and it cracked me
Pittsburgh
up that they acquired Kevin Biggio, and I think that when Max Muncy comes back, they may platoon. We'll see.
uh-huh.
But it was so funny when people were saying that the Dodgers acquired Kevin Biggio, and they're like, "And now he's gonna turn into this," and just showed old pictures of Craig Biggio, and I was like, "That's so funny."
It does
I'm
seem
like,
though
"He's
like
not,"
the
but
Dodgers when they do things like that, you're especially right now, it just seems what do they know? What do they got
Exactly.
on this guy? What's their plan?
Mhm. So, we'll see. I don't know, but now that Anthony Rizzo went down for the Yankees with his arm fracture, 4 to 6 weeks or something, I saw 3 different people say that the Yankees were gonna pick up Jose Abreu now, and I'm all, "Stop it. Just stop it. That's not don't
No.
like, don't even joke about that because it's not funny. It's not funny." And they're like, "We'd love to see the Yankees fix Jose Abreu." Stop. Ridiculous. But yeah, the Braves, though, their center fielder that they paid money to, Michael Harris the second, has a grade 2 left hamstring strain.
Mm,
Kelsey, what
mm.
is do you know the different grading scales? What's
I don't actually.
I don't know why. Obviously, like, a grade 2 is
Oh, grade
more
2 is a
bad.
tear,
Is it what?
a partial tear. So grade 1
Oh,
is a mild muscle strain or a pull, grade 2 is a partial tear of one or more hamstring muscles, and grade 3 is a complete tear.
I
So
okay.
partial tear, the worst thing about these kinds of things is all you can do is nothing. So, yeah,
It
it's
just
just
gets fixed on its own?
yeah, you have to let it heal. It's not the same as trying to heal a bone fracture or something.
You don't
Hamstrings,
get surgery on it or any like,
no,
oy.
no. So
So you
hamstring,
just
like soft tissue injuries are a lot of times the worst ones because the timetable, it's just not as straightforward. Wilson Contreras had his fracture of his forearm and he's actually set to start his rehab assignment on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. And
oh,
he could be back as soon as a week from today. So he could be back as soon as next Monday. And in I think I've seen a lot of like speculation of like how in the world is he back so fast and blah blah blah. But he has shared a lot of the process of his recovery, and it seems like he's enjoyed certain aspects of it more than other things because it is more straightforward. When you break a bone, and especially certain bones in a way that they're broken, I don't know the extent of that. I am not a doctor, but breaks are much more do this, get this in terms of recovery, whereas like
mhm,
soft tissue and tendon issues are different, are very like case by case. And yeah, you can't, it's not like you can do like exercises at least till you get to a certain point of
interesting.
it having recovered.
So can he walk? Can he like, what's
Probably, but he's doing as little as possible.
okay, so basically you just get to sit is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
not non-baseball activities for sure.
Yikes, Michael Harris. Yikes on bikes. Yeah, so when I saw Ramon Laureano in the game for the Braves the other night, I'm all, "When the fuck did Ramon Laureano become a Brave?" I totally
Oh,
missed that because in my head, Ramon Laureano was still on the Guardians, but
yeah,
no,
I
no.
also missed that, but Alex Anthopoulos,
Yeah.
you just snuck that one right by us.
Ramon Laureano has been hanging out in the, Braves AAA system and got called up when Michael Harris and I'm all, "What? When was this?" I completely missed this. Ramon Laureano is a Brave, and now they go, I don't know. That's probably not it, but there's no timetable for Michael Harris's return. So I guess Ramon Laureano is just gonna get run of the Braves outfield right now between, like, him and Adam Duvall. So who knows what the Braves are gonna do. I feel like the Braves are gonna make some sort of, like, big move, though, because Alex
Braves and
Anthopoulos
Dodgers,
in his murder board.
yeah, Braves and Dodgers gonna be busy at the deadline.
Yeah, but maybe this is why the Phillies have not been cooking. JT Realmuto is missing just 1 month after knee surgery because
Yeah, so
apparently he's been playing.
this is the same injury as Mike Trout, the meniscus tear.
But how does JT Realmuto only miss 1 month and Mike Trout has been gone for 43 years?
They may be having a different procedure done based on the size of the tear and where it's at. I had a meniscus tear. I actually technically, I guess it is not no longer torn. It happened to me when I was a teenager, so I was still growing, so I did not have to have surgery on it, and I just had steroid injections. But I am familiar with the injury, so just like the hamstring, there is obviously a different level to it. But yeah, ultimately, like it is the same procedure. So I don't
But
know
how
unless
is JT Realmuto only missing 1 month?
I do not know.
I
That doesn't sound right to me.
I had to read that again multiple times because surely he's not just 1 month after and he's a catcher. You're on that knee. You're on
Right.
your knees. What's
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. If anybody wants to,
Any orthopedic doctors?
yeah,
No, let us in on it.
clear that up for us, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, I'm sure there are other injuries that have come about since I wrote these notes up. Obviously, these are the major ones. But yeah,
Trey Turner's
just
back. He had a
Trey
hit.
Turner is back. Who got optioned? Was it Rojas that got optioned?
I'm not really sure what
That's
the
okay.
corresponding move was, but I am really interested to see what they do with Edmundo Sosa because he played extremely well in Trey Turner's absence, and I think they've put him out in the outfield a handful of times, maybe.
I
I
don't
don't
think bitches love Trey Turner the way they love Edmundo Sosa.
know. No,
No.
I speak for the bitches everywhere when I say that. I mean, I love Trey Turner, but love me some Sosa. We gotta
No.
see him out there.
So,
He's gotta get playing time, and quite honestly, I don't wanna say they need him in their lineup because obviously they have Schwarber and Harper and Turner and
right.
Bohm and all these guys, but they
Can he play some center field?
I think he can. I think he has done it a handful of times, so you may see them put him out there. He's gotta be as good of an outfielder as Castellanos, right?
Casty. That's a whole contract in and of itself, man. Golly.
Did you? Oh my
Anyway.
god! Did you see the interview? Bless his heart, because I don't want to make too bad of fun of him because I feel like this is totally something I would do. But Cassie was being interviewed at the London series. I think it was at like the media day on Friday
Uh-huh.
on the network, and he was talking about how it was so cool to see all of the because they invite school children to that media day. I got
Oh,
to go
yeah.
last year, so I remember seeing like the kids, and they all wear like really nice uniforms. So he was like, we got to see the kids from Hogwarts in their suits and ties, and he was very serious. He was so serious.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, just yeah, the kids at Hogwarts.
I love Castellanos. I really feel like it's a good thing that Castellanos is a good baseball player, or at least a good hitter.
Yeah,
'Cause boy, oh boy, man. I'm like, "Are we sure you're not blonde, Nick Castellanos? Are we sure your roots are not blonde? Because there's some questionable things that you say sometimes, and I'm
try to
all it
say so
raises some eyebrows. Oh,
soon.
man. I love it. I love it so much. But, Kelsey, I gotta ask you, where you think the NL is actually gonna go? Because as it stands right now, there's 43 teams all within half a game of each other.
Yeah.
How do you think it shakes out?
Let's see. Let's just take a peek at these standings.
So, as it stands right now, the NL leaders are Philly, LA, and the Brewers. Atlanta and the Cardinals, right there, baby, have the first two wild card spots. And then you got Washington, and then there is San Diego, Arizona, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, all tied half a game back. Like,
Yeah.
what?
So just as we wrote it up, the Nationals today, as we approach the halfway point in the season, are in playoff contention.
Just like we wrote it up in the
As
article.
are multiple teams who are like that's the thing. I'm sorry, the Cardinals are one game above. The Cardinals are officially one game above 500. This is the first time that they have been above 500 since April 6th of this past season, and it is before that the last time that they were over 500 was April 2nd of 2023. So here come the Cardinals, baby. Watch out. But yeah, the Nationals are under 500, and they are, if the season ended today, they would be in the playoffs. It's weird. I heard the talk of the last like week or so was very much around how there were only, I think this time last week, there was only 4 teams in the NL that were even above 500,
500. Mhm.
which is pretty crazy. And yeah, I guess looking right now, you've got Milwaukee and St. Louis, you've got the Phillies and the Braves, and the Dodgers. So that's it. There's still only 5. That's crazy.
The Mets are up 14-2. Andrew Kisner is now pitching.
For the second time in a week.
Andrew
Yeah,
Kisner is
he
now
is.
pitching.
Come on. Ugh, love that dude. Don't love that for him in this situation. Do what you gotta
I
do.
that I am speechless. The Mets found Grimace has magical, mystical, black magic powers. Good on you, Grimace. Can you come visit Minute Maid Park? Can you just come on over and share some purple love? We would appreciate it. Please
Yeah,
and thank you.
get that promo on the schedule. Ooh, yeah. I don't know, man. Let's see. I would really like to think that the Cardinals can pull this one out, but unfortunately, so the Cardinals just played a nail biter in 12 innings against the Miami Marlins. I don't know. They split the series with the freaking Rockies. They took 2 of 3 from the Cubs at least, but the Cubs are like struggling. That should have been a sweep, no questions asked. They're not winning games
Handily, right?
So
Yeah.
so that concerns me. But again, still on paper, I look at them and I'm like, they really should be better than the Nationals, better than the Mets, better than the Pirates, better than the Cubs. Honestly, like the Cubs did not get better enough in the
Right.
offseason. So I don't
Well, your
know. I mean,
record's better than the Cubs, aren't they? They are,
currently,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking in terms of like how this actually plays out because I think we're at we played 71 games. So by the next time we record, we'll be right at about the halfway point of the season and shit's getting real. Usually you can look at it and I've got to look up the statistics, but there is something like there is a very high percentage of teams who are in first place like by a certain date or whatever that typically win the division. And I would be interested to see how that changes now with the balanced schedule because I think it just used to be a lot more telling. But right now, there are a lot of teams that haven't played within their division nearly as much as they normally do. And I don't know, it just really shakes shit up, which is fun. Like it keeps more teams in it for longer, if nothing else. And then obviously with the expanded playoffs as well, it makes it really hard to tell right now. It makes it even harder to predict. And like you said, the baseball gods are just in the works to really shake shit up for us all season
Yeah,
long.
I really think that the baseball gods just said, "You know what? We're a little bored and we wanna have some fun." So we are. We're just gonna make everyone that was gonna be good, not so good. And the people that are not so good are gonna be good.
Because I
And
would say on paper, if you had asked me to use my head, on paper, the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Brewers will win the divisions, and the Braves, the Cardinals, and the Padres will be the wild card teams.
who knows?
What do I know?
Because the Yankees, the Guardians, and the Mariners were the AL leaders that we all had written up, and the Orioles, Royals, and Twins were the wild card teams. That's exactly like how all of us drew it up in the offseason, right? With the Boston Red Sox just right there at 2.5 games back. I hate baseball. I hate
Who
baseball.
are you? Have you decided who you're going to throw your postseason allegiance behind? Or are
Orioles.
you okay?
Orioles. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Orioles.
You know what? The good news is, if it is, I've decided I would really love to see an Orioles Phillies World Series, just because I think those two teams have the best top two, 1 and 2, 1 being Phillies, 2 being Orioles for best vibes in baseball. And also, I live
You're
15
right
minutes
there.
from the Philly Stadium and an hour and a half from Camden Yards. So we're like gonna have to go if that
Yeah,
happens.
I'm saying if that happens, we'll have to sell feet pictures and we will have to get
Yeah,
some sort of like tickets and we're gonna go.
yeah.
So I'm very excited. Um, is Camden the one stadium that has the crab mac and cheese hot dog or something like that? Is that
Oh, I think it is. Yeah,
I need all of the crab things
they
when we
definitely
go to Camden.
they have crab yeah, the seafood is I just went to a diner 2 minutes from my house. It has 57 things on the menu. I'm not exaggerating. Like, they actually probably have more than that, and I had some of the best seafood I've ever had, but that is because I've been living in the Midwest for most of my life. Why would they have this much great seafood and all of these other things on like, it's not even a seafood place.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I need the crab mac and cheese covered whatever it is at Camden. So if you guys have food recommendations, drop them in the comments because I will be going and visiting Kelsey in August when the Astros play the Orioles and the Phillies. And apparently I will come back 23 pounds heavier because I'm going to just eat all of the things, all the seafood.
when in Rome, when at
Yeah.
Camden Yards, you know?
But also, I have many questions on where to sit because I'm a
Yeah.
wimp and I don't want to sit in the sun. Not gonna lie, I don't wanna sit in the sun. So I don't know where to sit in order to not be in the sun. Or am I just fucked and I'm gonna sit in the sun because it's a day game?
Ooh, yeah. I'm looking at the stadium. There's not a lot of cover. We'll figure it
Like,
out. We'll do our research.
I said I've never been to a outdoor stadium. I went to Wrigley, but I was in a box for Wrigley, so that doesn't count. And then the
Oh,
only
so you've
other
literally never been to an outdoor stadium.
correct. Yeah, I've only been to Minute Maid and Mimic Maid Park, which is what I call, Ranger Stadium,
Oh my
Arlington
god.
Globe Life Field or whatever. So And oh, no, I take it back. I went to Target Field 43 years ago when I was not a baseball fan, and I sat in the outfield seats, but they were covered for some reason. They were like there was cover. But
Yeah,
yeah, I sat in the outfield. I
I've
had
only
mini
the
donuts.
American Family Field is the only one I've been to that has a roof.
Yeah. I've never been to an actual outdoor stadium where I have to worry about the sunshine and, like, where to sit because 'cause I'm watching some of these games and I'm gonna end up with horrible fucking tan lines.
I'm gonna have
So,
to get you like an Astros umbrella hat.
ooh,
Oh,
that would be
they sell them. Of course they do. Yeah, I'm gonna hook you up.
perfect. Perfect. I love it. So, yeah. So, give me all of the recommendations if you guys have them. Drop them in the YouTube comments for food recommendations and seating recommendations for either Citizens Bank Park, yeah, that's right, or Camden, and let me know because I need all of those. Need all of those recommendations. And also, everyone's like, "Oh, Susie, you don't believe in the Astros?" I don't. Not gonna lie. I think it may be too late. I think it's a little too late.
It's getting late, that's the thing. But it is crazy what we've been talking about the entire episode is how close everything still is and how the disparity, it's very odd.
Yeah.
I
So, the Astros next 2 weeks, Kels, we start a 3-game series with the White Sox tomorrow, then we play Baltimore, then we play Colorado, then we play the Mets.
okay.
Ideally, there is a world where we could sweep the White Sox and we could sweep Colorado, and depending on who's pitching for Baltimore, possibly win that Baltimore series. Fingers crossed. If the
Yeah,
Mets are playing how the Mets are playing now, apparently we're just fucked. But there could be a way that we could end up coming out of June in a decent spot. But
yeah,
again, it's getting late, folks. It's getting real late. And I don't know. Again, if you guys didn't see my rant on being an Asian mom, you guys should go watch that because it was pretty funny. But yeah, I expect greatness and I have expected greatness because my expectations were so high. So if I just didn't have the expectations, I wouldn't be this disappointed.
it's true.
So now we just hope for the best, but expect the worst. And that way, my little astro loving heart won't be as broken. And then I get to enjoy all the other baseball.
There you go.
But who knows what the White Sox are doing because that Chicago White Sox Mariners series, the White Sox were literally in it, Kels, every game. Every single game, they were in it up until the 7th inning. And then the bullpen blew it.
Yeah, they're gonna
But
have
it
fun.
wasn't
They're already having fun kind of playing spoiler here and there.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Again, guys, put in the comments what you think the AL is going to do. Who you think is going to come out of the AL? Who you think is going to come out of NL? Give us some World Series predictions. Philly, Baltimore, that would be fun. I know I look good in orange. Philly's Kelsey over there. You know who she's
That
going
would
for.
be
So
really fun. Yeah, we
I was going to say, what are you going to do? But no, you've already pledged your allegiance to the Phillies.
absolutely. Yeah, easy. That the only thing it's not gonna be a real struggle for me, but like how crazy would it be if the Cardinals and the Phillies do end up playing each other? It could absolutely happen. Obviously, I'm gonna be all
You
in on
would
the Cardinals,
be
but I'm not gonna be making lots of friends in my neighborhood.
that person that had the Cardinals Phillies combo shirt, like how they had in London, like the Phillies Mets, but it
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
be Cardinals, like that you would be the person. You'd be like, "I love both of these teams. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm so sorry."
I will be Cardinals all in anytime the Cardinals are playing anyone under any circumstances.
But a
But
little part of you is going to be secretly thrilled when Schwarber hits that first bomb and you're like, "Fuck."
I will have a hard time, yeah, especially with certain players not wanting them to see them do well.
It's
And
okay.
it's hard when at this point in the season right now, the Phillies obviously are not like on paper, on every level, the Phillies are the better team. So if you got to that point, like it is I don't want to say it's hard, you'd still be like happy, but
Right.
to see a team that is clearly better than another advance, it happens all the time. But
We shall see. But yeah, it'll be an interesting stretch down the road, especially if both of our actual favorite teams
yeah.
don't go, then we will pledge our allegiances to our second favorite teams. But
Mhm.
we will mourn. We'll pour one out for our favorite teams. But again, we love the baseball. We love the baseball, and if that means we have to root for other teams, we root for the other teams. With that, Kels, where can the peoples find you on the interwebs?
On the Twitter, if you're watching on YouTube, my handle is right here below at Kbird Tweets on Twitter. And that is also, I believe, Kelsey Bird, my full name, Kbird Tweets YouTube channel is where you can find me for my weekly episodes of Peace, Love, and Baseball. If I'm not there, I am right here. Where can they find us, Susie?
You can find Bourbon and Baseball on all of the audio channel podcast things. Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, I think is a thing. I don't know. All of the podcast sites. You can find us on the YouTube, Bourbon and Baseball. Obviously, if you haven't hit the red subscribe button, what are we doing? Hit that button. On the Bourbon and Baseball Pod on Instagram. You can find us all of those places on Facebook for the old folks everywhere. Basically, we're everywhere doing all of the things, doing all the self promotion. Again, if you guys haven't given us a 5-star rating or said all the nice words in a review, why not? Please do that. We would love that. Okay. Apple, Spotify. It helps the algorithm. Share that podcast. We would love that. And with that, we're going to say good night and yay, baseball.